Year 8. Nice simple lesson today, following on from Tuesday's more difficult lesson on solving quadratic equations by factorising. If you remember, that was where you put a quadratic equation into brackets, into a double bracket, and from that you could find the two answers. And the first example I did was for the equation x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. So what we're going to do today is to actually plot x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay, so y equals x squared plus 7x plus 12. So there we are. That was the first example that I did, was x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. And the answers, if you recall, were -3 and -4. But before we actually got to the answers, I gave some examples of what you get when you put numbers in. In fact, the example I used was 10. And I put 10 in here, and the answer that came out was 182. And I want you to understand what you're looking at here. Make sure you understand what you're looking at here. What you're looking at here are all the answers for all the different values of x that you might choose to sub in there. Okay, so for example, if you put the number 2 in there, let's just check this one, you should get 2 squared plus 7 times 2 plus 12. Well, 2 squared is 4, 7 times 2 is 14, so we've got 4 plus 14, which is 18, plus 12, which is 30. So that means that this line should pass, curve should pass through 2, 30. Let's just check if it does. So here's 2. So I'm going to just go up the 2 line. So look where the arrow of the mouse is. I'm going. That's the 2 line. Whoops, move across a bit. And I'm nearly there. Boom. There it is. 2, 30 is a point on the line. So let's just try a smaller one. What about 1? 1 would give you 1 plus 7 plus 12. 8, 12. That would give you 20. And there it is. 1, 20. This is the line for 1. Let me go back to the home so you can see the start of the curve. 0, put 0 in there, you should give you 12. And it does. Well, this is very exciting, but what's even more exciting is that this is another way of finding the answer to my question, which was x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. Because to find the values of x that solve that equation, we did it last lesson, my first example. All I need to do is to find what values are at a height of 0. So I come back down the y-axis to 0, go across, and look to see what x values I have. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see it a bit clearer. And here they are, -3 and -4. Now look back at yesterday's lesson, look at the start of my video if you need to, but you will see that those were the two answers that we got. So it works. It does give you the two answers to the question by plotting the graph and looking to see where the y value is equal to 0. In other words, where the curve crosses the x-axis. So what I want you to do today is I would like you, for each of the questions that you did, that's questions 2 to 20, I'd like you to plot the actual graph of it and see where it crosses the x-axis, and just check that it matches up with your answers to the question. Now, let me just do one of my example questions. So if you remember, question 19 was the one that said 8x squared equals 2x plus 15. And I said you need to first of all make it say equals 0 by manipulating it. And if you followed the video, you would know that having done that, we got 8x squared minus 2x minus 15, like that. Okay, and I can now see, if you check my answer video, you'll see that these are correct, what the answers actually were. And they will have been, according to this, 1.5 and it looks like -1 1/4, -1.25. Probably came out -5/4 and 3/2. I haven't got the my answers in front of me, but if you check my answers for question 19, those are the answers that you would get. Finally, there were two questions that you didn't do, which was 21 and 22, which were those horrible fraction looking things. Again, they don't say equals naught, so you'd need to start by doing something to them. But just to sort of give you a heads up, I'm just going to type in number 21, okay, with me getting it all to say equals naught. And that would be to take away the 6/x to the other side. What a strange looking thing that is. Might be strange looking, but what's interesting is that you can see from my graph what the solution to setting all of that equal to naught is. In other words, the answer to question 21. I'm staring at it at the screen now. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I know the value of x that would solve that if it was equal to 0. In other words, solve the answer to question 21. See if you can work out what it is as well.